Today, we're going to show you how to carve a turkey. I'm going to show you how to carve a turkey. Now, these are just some options of things that you can use. This right here is a meat carver from Victorinox. Wonderful, wonderful knife right there. This one right here is a Wusthof Classic right there, chef's knife, 8-inch chef's knife. That is a great option of a do-it-all knife right there. Now, what you're going to see me carve this turkey with is actually an 8-inch Santoku knife. I use it like a chef's knife. I use it literally every day, and it is my favorite knife that I own. And it really works well for me. Now, they make other knives. That's going to be the knife that I use while carving this turkey, just to show you that someone like me, who I have admittedly always been one of those people that is really nervous and doesn't know what they're doing or doesn't feel like they know what they're doing and doesn't feel like they do a great job. So I'm going to show you that no matter your skill level, whether you are a world-class chef or just Joe Schmo that has never carved a turkey before, you can do it. It's not that hard. I'm going to go through the steps and the process that I go through carving this turkey. Now, I cook this turkey myself in my own home, and now we're going to carve it. Before we get started, if you like this video, smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell so you will know when we drop new videos carving them turkeys up. Now, without further ado, let's carve it up. All right, folks, so turkey that I cooked in my home. I decided to go ahead and bring it into the studio. For one, I have better lighting here and I can show you better, and I've got more cameras here and more camera angles. Also, it gave me a chance. So one thing that I believe very strongly is that you should let your bird rest after you get done cooking it. That's very important for keeping the moisture in the meat and not letting it run out everywhere. If it can hold that moisture in as it contracts after it comes out of the oven, then that's what's going to make it nice and tender. Now, this one might be a little bit overcooked, but also letting your bird rest goes back to time management as well. So make sure you have enough time to let your bird rest. I usually like to do it between 45 minutes and an hour after getting done cooking it. Now, the order in which you do everything and how you go about doing it is all subjective. There's more than one way to skin a cat. There's more than one way to carve a turkey, I guarantee you. So this is just the way that I do it. And maybe this will be helpful for some of you. Maybe it won't. I was actually lucky when I pulled this bird out and was transferring it onto the cutting board here that one of the wings already came off. So that's less work and less carving that I have to do. Now, this next part is debatable. Some people like to take out the wishbone. Some people leave it in. I think it makes it easier if you're actually going to carve off the whole breast as a big piece to take it out. It makes it easier to get to that breastbone. So that's going to be the first thing that I do. And you can see right in here, my wishbone is actually already slightly exposed. So I'm going to see what it's going to take to get to that wishbone. I'm going to just turn this around here so that I can see it. I don't want to cut any more meat than I absolutely have to, so just going to pry it out there. There we go. And look at there. Nice little wishbone. Nice little wishbone. This meat is super tender, so I'm not having to cut a lot at all. And I'm actually going to be using my favorite knife, the knife that I use all the time. And no, I'm not using that. It's a little overkill. This sound honestly is a little overkill, but this is my favorite knife that I use for everything. Yes, it is a Santoku. No, this is not what it's made for, but this is what I'm going to use it for because I literally use this knife for everything. I use it as a chef's knife, and it kind of functions as one with its size. This is my Shun, my personal one, and I love this thing. I think you should always use this. Absolutely. It's very important for the upkeep of your kitchen knives, which you use more often than any other knife. I literally use this knife every single day. It may or may not have cut me already today. I'm not going to talk about it. And this is already separating. This leg meat right here is already separating. So I'm just going to cut the skin just a little bit. I'm going to let it separate all the way down on its own. And then I'm going to pop that joint out. Slide that over. And it's just falling apart. This is just beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful. This is taking all the guesswork out of carving a turkey. That joint is already gone. There's that leg right there. We're going to set that off to the side. Now, some of the dark meat came off with that. You can see right there. That's fine. Not a problem. You can cut that off separately if you like. I'm not going to because it doesn't really bother me. So now I'm going to go for the other leg here. And I am going to have to cut through the skin right here. We're just going to make... And that's one thing I also want to stress is don't just go into it and just start cutting all willy-nilly and like slicing really deep into it, because you don't need to. You need to let it come apart as it naturally would, and that's going to make the meat a lot better and easier to carve too. So short, precise incisions right here. Let that meat come apart nice and juicy. Now I am going to have to break this joint. So I'm just going to take this, push it apart, and it's going to fall right out there. That is gorgeous. And again, you'll see the dark meat came out with it. You can cut that off separately if you like to. I know some people like dark meat, some people like light meat. I personally like the dark meat a little better. So I'm going to set those legs aside. Now, like I said, one wing already fell off. That's okay. Not a big deal. Now I'm going to turn this bird around, because what I'm going to start doing now is taking the breast off. So what we're going to start doing first is we're going to go down the center and find that breastbone. And what we're going to do from there is we are going to follow that breastbone as it curves on each side so that we can take off one large breast piece on each side. So here's how we're going to do that. I'm going to spin this bird around. Going to pick up my trusty shoe. I'm going to go right down the middle, and there should be a visible seam that you're going to see right there. And I'm just going to make short, small passes. My breastbone is actually really close to the top right there. So that's not going to be a huge issue. Now I'm going to come just to the side of that breastbone, and I'm going to start making short passes getting down into that meat right there. So as you can see, folks, and I am not a professional by any means at all. And so I did miss some of this, a little bit of this meat right here. Not much, though. So you can see how I tried to carve slightly. And a lot of people like to use a boning or a carving knife because it's going to be flexible. It's going to be easier to get into that curvature right there. But I just feel more comfortable using this. A boning or a carving knife, if I got used to it, would probably work a little better. So that's going to be the process of taking that breast off. Then all we're going to do is do the same thing on the other side. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you the reason why we like to take that one breast piece off. Everyone likes that crunchy, crispy skin on there. And if you've cooked it right, it's going to come out that way. But everyone likes some of that crunchy skin. So if you carve it while it's still on the turkey, there's going to be a lot of people that don't end up getting any skin at all. So if you carve it like this, it's going to be much easier. And I'm going to show you here now what you're going to want to do as you carve the rest of this here. So then you can take it and you can go against the grain. Let me make sure I know which way the grain's going. There we go. And you can do it on a bias here. So on that angle there. And that's going to ensure that everyone gets some of that nice skin right there. And you can cut nice slices. You can do it as thin or as thick as you like, depending on how many people you've got that you're feeding on Thanksgiving. Make sure you keep that skin intact right there. And I will say, too, this turkey, I literally cooked with nothing but a new product that we just started carrying, Dano seasoning. So we made some damn good turkey right here. And we are actually going to have Dano here himself this Friday and Saturday, November 19th and 20th. He is going to be doing some cooking demonstrations with some chicken here in our showroom. But I literally put nothing but Dano seasoning on the outside of this bird and butter on the inside. That's it. That's all I did. And I guarantee you it is going to taste amazing. So just going to get the rest of this sliced up here. And I will say this bird is falling apart because it is so succulent. But there you can see I've got some nice slices of turkey here. I can transfer those over to my pan or serving dish, however you've got it fixed up there. I'm just going to scoop them up with my knife there. And then literally do just the same thing on the other side. After that, I usually like to leave the wings on because it makes the bird a little more stable. And that's why I've left this little drummy right here. It makes it a little more stable when you're trying to carve the breast off, so it doesn't flop over or anything like that while you've got a nice sharp object in your hand. But that's going to be the process. We're just going to repeat that on the other side, get the other breast off, get it cut into slices. Then we're going to take the other wing off, and then you've got a carved turkey, folks. It's that easy. It's not hard, and I know a lot of people stress over it. I honestly have always been one of those that stressed over it, but if I can do it, I promise you can do it. And this turned out to be a great carving project because this looks beautiful. I will honestly say this is the best turkey I have ever carved right here. This looks fantastic. Now I've just got one more breast to do, and we're all done. So you can see right here, this bird is separating beautifully on this side of that breastbone, and it's literally just pulling off the bone. Like I'm not having to cut it at all. And that's really what you want. And that's what you want to look for is that separation. That's going to give you the most meat right there. So folks, that is the process that I go through carving a turkey. It's not that hard. And you too can have the same kind of presentation. It's not very difficult. And I tell you what, that Dano seasoning turned out amazing. I mean, we made a damn good turkey right there. I will tell you, and you know, maybe the skin's not exactly how you would like it. If you want the skin a little different or maybe a little darker or a little more brown, what I would do is maybe baste it with like a melted butter and maybe some seasoning mixed in together. Baste the outside of that turkey. And then after you get that turkey done, once it temps out, maybe broil it a little bit to darken that skin a little bit more, make it a little more crunchy, a little more brown. But literally all I did to that turkey was I put 2 sticks of butter inside the turkey along with Dano seasoning on the inside and all over the outside. And that's all I did. And it made it fantastic. It was wonderful. And so it's really that simple, folks. That's all you got to do. That just goes to show that even someone like me, and I am not a cook, I am not a chef, and I am not great in the kitchen as far as making a great presentation, but that is obviously not that hard. So don't get nervous about it. That's all you need right there for your Thanksgiving dinner, folks. As always, it's been me here, TC with Smoky Mountain Knife Works, and remember, pick cuts like a carving knife or a chef's knife, then we carry it.